This evening, first, tragedy at the track. A 19-year-old jockey is killed during Guyana Cup, the first fatality in the event's 17-year history. What officials are saying about safety reform. Plus, road carnage. 6 lives lost in less than 24 hours, including 2 children, in back-to-back crashes on the Linden Soesdyke Highway and Rupununi Lethem Trail. Families are shattered and road safety is now under urgent review. Also, cash promises. At a massive rally in Lethem, President Irfaan Ali pledges sweeping new support for pensioners and children ahead of the September elections. We'll break down the numbers and what it means for families. Meanwhile, crisis training. With elections just 2 weeks away, Guyanese police team up with Miami-Dade officers and the U.S. Embassy for advanced crisis management drills. How this training could shape national security. And deadly monsoon. Internationally, disaster in northern Pakistan. Monsoon floods kill at least 200, with many more still missing. All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 18th, 2025. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the Guyana horse racing community is in mourning following the death of 19-year-old jockey Kishan Pereira, who was fatally injured during the Guyana Cup 2025 at the Rising Sun Turf Club, West Coast Berbice on Sunday. Pereira, riding the horse Blinding Light in a 7-furlong race, fell after the horse slipped on the track and was subsequently struck by another horse, American Traveler, ridden by jockey Bharat Ramnarayan. The accident occurred between the 3rd and 4th furlong poles. 9 horses started the race, and by the 5th furlong pole, 3 riders had been thrown off. The race was ultimately won by emotional damage, with 3 horses finishing without their jockeys. In a statement, the Jumbo Jet Thoroughbred Racing Committee expressed deep condolences to the Pereira family, noting this was the first fatal incident in the 17-year history of the Guyana Cup. The committee cited earlier light showers that may have created soft spots on the track and pledged a full review of safety measures. The tragic loss of Kishan Pereira serves as a somber reminder of the inherent risks in horse racing, prompting fans and members of the racing community to call for a thorough investigation into track conditions and lighting. Amidst the tragic loss of the young jockey, officials have pledged to review safety protocols and implement stronger measures to prevent such incidents in the future. In other news, in less than 24 hours, 2 tragic road accidents have claimed 6 lives, including those of 2 children, leaving families shattered and entire communities in mourning. The tragedies, which unfolded on Sunday along the Linden Soesdyke Highway and the Rupununi Lethem Trail, highlight the country's worsening road safety crisis as fatalities continue to climb despite a decline in overall accidents. The devastating collision along the Rupununi Lethem Trail, Region 9, wiped out an entire family of 3. The victims have been identified as 28-year-old Jagnarain Stephen of Yakarenta village, his wife, Kira, and their infant daughter, Laurel. The family's motorcycle reportedly collided with a minibus while negotiating a curve. Jagnarain and Kira died on the spot, while Laurel succumbed to her injuries shortly after being rushed to the Lethem Regional Hospital. Just hours earlier, another accident along the Soesdyke Linden Highway claimed the lives of 26-year-old Shelley Joseph, Kieran Wells, and 7-year-old Miranzo Campbell. Reports indicate that the vehicle they were traveling in, driven by Miranzo's father, Mario Campbell, slammed into a parked truck around 1 a.m. The investigators suspect thick fog may have contributed to the crash. Mario remains hospitalized in critical condition. The tragedies come against a troubling national backdrop. As of July 30th, Ghana has recorded 70 road fatalities for 2025, representing a 6% increase compared to the same period last year, despite a slight decline in overall accidents. As investigations continue, the back-to-back tragedies serve as a sobering reminder of the urgent need for safer driving practices and stronger road safety measures. With fatalities already on the rise this year, authorities are warning that unless attitudes on the road change, more families will be left to mourn loved ones lost to preventable crashes. Moving on, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali on Sunday evening unveiled plans to significantly boost social support for pensioners and children during a massive PPPC rally in Lethem, Region 9, ahead of the September 1st general and regional elections. President Ali announced that the old age pension will be raised to a minimum of $60,000 per month, alongside a $50,000 annual transportation grant for every pensioner. He said the government will allocate at least $65 billion annually for pensions and an additional $4 billion for transportation support. In addition, President Ali revealed that each child will receive $200,000 annually. This includes a $100,000 transportation grant and a $100,000 Because We Care cash grant, which has been doubled from $50,000. With the recent $5,000 uniform grant, the total support per child will now reach $200,000, amounting to $40 billion annually, up from approximately $10 billion currently provided through education grants. The president emphasized that $200,000 is the minimum support, with potential increases as the economy grows. Meanwhile, earlier today, the PPPC launched its 2025-2030 manifesto, detailing the party's social and economic promises for the next 5 years if elected. The manifesto is being launched ahead of the September 1st, 2025 general and regional elections. Stick around when we return. Guyana Police launched crisis management training with U.S. support ahead of elections, and over 10,000 discipline services personnel set to vote on D-Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million Punch and Win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
What's going on here, man? Why the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in the house and thief all we valuables, including the ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't get no ID card to identify ourselves. Now we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GCOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GCOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
But how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GCOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get to vote?
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ghana Elections Commission (GECOM) has confirmed that over 10,000 members of the discipline services will cast their ballots on D-Day, Friday, August 22nd, ahead of the general and regional elections on September 1st. The group comprises members of the Ghana Police Force, the Ghana Defense Force, and the Ghana Prison Service. Members of the Ghana Fire Service will vote separately on E-Day. Voting will take place at 87 balloting stations across the country using district-specific ballot papers. While there are 87 stations, only 63 ballot boxes will be used, with some stations sharing boxes due to remote locations. In certain areas, ballot boxes will be transported via helicopter between stations. Deputy Chief Elections Officer Enel Giddings explained that the ballots will be kept under seal until Election Day, when they will be intermixed with regular votes to ensure voter privacy and uphold fairness. Personnel who do not vote on D-Day will still be able to cast their ballots in their home district on September 1st. The Discipline Services early voting on D-Day ensures that over 10,000 personnel can participate in the electoral process while fulfilling their duties across the country. By safeguarding their ballots until Election Day and intermixing them with regular votes, GECOM upholds both voter privacy and electoral integrity, allowing these key public servants to exercise their right to vote without disruption. Moving on, the Ghana Police Force, in partnership with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Embassy, launched a crisis management training program at the Officers Training Center at Camp Road, Georgetown, earlier today. The initiative involves 58 officers from the Tactical Service Unit and aims to strengthen operational readiness, professionalism, and resilience in handling complex situations, including natural disasters, civil disturbances, and security threats. Speaking at the opening, Woman Senior Superintendent Nicola Kendall emphasized the importance of specialized knowledge, planning, and coordination in crisis situations, highlighting that the training equips officers to protect lives and restore order with integrity. She lauded the international collaboration, noting it boosts capacity and strengthens ties between Guyana and the United States. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Terriot underscored the program's timeliness ahead of the September 1st, 2025 general and regional elections, stressing the crucial role of law enforcement in ensuring citizens can vote and express their views safely. She reiterated the U.S. support for Ghana's security, stability, and sovereignty. Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hakin described the training as a key component of the force's strategic plan, emphasizing that it prepares the TSU not only for election-related contingencies, but also for high-risk operations, VIP protection, crowd management, counterterrorism, and critical incident response. He stressed that effective crisis management involves anticipating challenges, preventing escalation, and restoring order with fairness and sound judgment. The event also included representatives from the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Embassy officials, reinforcing the importance of international collaboration in building a safer, more resilient society. Don't go away after the break. Trump's Lone Star lockups. Largest U.S. immigration detention center opens in Texas. And United Nations pollution talks. No consensus reached on binding plastic treaty.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common flaws make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
What's going on here, man? Why do the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in the house and thief all we valuables, including the ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't get no ID card to identify ourselves. Now we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GCOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GCOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
But how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GCOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get to vote?
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Caribbean economies could face major job losses as the U.S. lawmakers push new legislation discouraging the outsourcing of call center operations. The Keep Call Centers in America Act would penalize firms that offshore jobs, a blow to Jamaica, Belize, and others where business process outsourcing fuels growth and youth employment. A new immigration detention center in the U.S., set to become the country's largest, has officially opened in Texas. Al Jazeera's Heidi Zucastro reports.
A camp at Fort Bliss Army Base in the Texas desert will be a temporary prison to 5,000 immigrants awaiting deportation. The facility, dubbed the Lone Star Lockup, began receiving detainees on Sunday. It's the Trump administration's latest mega deportation depot.
I would like to see bigger facilities that'd be more efficient, holding several thousand people.
At Fort Bliss, those detainees will be adults arrested from throughout the country and sent to live in tents on the base near the Mexico border for upwards of 6 months until they board deportation flights.
This is the largest concentration camp the United States has ever had, and it's sad that it's in our backyard.
Several dozen immigration advocates protested at the gates of the Army base.
Very concerned that the corporation that is running it is doing it because of profit. I mean, this is not just a humanitarian effort. This is an effort to make money. So somebody is going to get rich out of this detention center.
The private company that was awarded the $1.2 billion government contract to build and oversee the facility has no experience running detention centers. A worker died during construction, and the camp location has been problematic in the past.
Trump's predecessor, Joe Biden, had briefly used Fort Bliss to house migrant children who journeyed to the U.S. without a parent. But that facility did not last long. It closed after whistleblowers alleged inadequate conditions.
Fort Bliss in and of itself has a history of housing people wrongfully, whether it goes back all the way to the internment of Japanese folks during World War II, to children before, and then now with other single adults. It's just unfortunate that a military installation that has a completely different purpose and presence in our community is being used in this way.
An earlier Trump effort to hold immigrants at Guantanamo Bay proved unsuccessful due to logistical and legal issues. In Florida, a new detention camp dubbed Alligator Alcatraz has drawn scrutiny over reports of inhumane conditions. But construction will continue at sites across the country as Washington pours more money into Trump's plan to deport 1 million people a year. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, El Paso, Texas.
The death toll from the recent monsoon rains in northern Pakistan is mounting. At least 200 people are confirmed dead in the Burner district alone, and dozens more are still missing. Al Jazeera's Kamal Haider reports.
In Qadir Nagar, a remote village in northern Pakistan, friends and relatives were putting the final touches to the decorations for a family wedding when a torrent of mud and water swept through the house. Ehsanullah, a close relative who survived, told us 28 members had gathered here for the festivities. All of them are dead.
The people who lived in this house were my relatives. They were all here for the wedding when the flash flood struck. Most of them are now buried under the debris, and we can't dig them out with our bare hands. Heavy machinery is urgently needed to recover their bodies.
People from nearby villages came to help with the search and recovery efforts.
I have never witnessed a flood like this in my life. What we saw felt like doomsday.
In Mingawara, one of the biggest cities in the region, several people have been confirmed dead, and some are still unaccounted for. The scale of the damage is evident days after a devastating flood. A major cleanup operation is still underway, and the search for the missing is still ongoing. The flood has left a trail of destruction in its wake. This used to be a parking lot. People are still trying to dig out the vehicles, buried under mud and rubble.
Our precautionary measures have significantly reduced casualties compared to the previous floods. However, the economic losses remain severe, as countless families have seen their homes, businesses, and livelihoods buried under layers of debris.
Authorities say it will take weeks to clear the streets, and only then can the repair work begin. The infrastructure damage is extensive, with warnings of more storms to come. People here are praying for the best but also preparing for the worst. Kamal Haider, Al Jazeera, Mingawara, Swat Valley, Pakistan.
The United Nations has failed to secure a deal on the world's first legally binding treaty to curb plastic pollution. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gatimbi reports.
Across the world's oceans, plastic waste is piling up. An estimated 11 million tons flow into the sea every year, breaking down into microplastics found in drinking water, Arctic ice, and even in human blood. For nearly 2 weeks, negotiators in Geneva worked on a treaty to tackle the crisis, from production to disposal. But disagreements on limiting the output of non-recycled plastics resulted in a deadlock.
It's very clear that we did not arrive where we wanted to arrive, but I also believe that everybody came here with the intention to get the deal done.
The draft text fell far short of the ambitions of the European Union and small island nations. They'd pushed hard for strict production caps.
It is tragic and it is
deeply disappointing to see some countries that are trying to block an agreement, a treaty that will give us the instruments needed to tackle plastic pollution.
Environmental campaigners accuse petrochemical producing countries of shifting the focus away from reducing production and towards recycling.
There's a few countries, Saudi Arabia, Russia, the United States, that have just been unwilling to negotiate in good faith in this space in these final hours. And as long as they continue to hold their lines as they have from Paris and show an unwillingness for us to actually negotiate, we cannot solve this problem.
Scientists warn that without strict limits, the production of global plastic could triple by 2060, worsening environmental, economic and health impacts. Delegates will reconvene for a final round of talks at an as-yet unconfirmed date. Many see it as a final opportunity to secure a treaty that stops plastic pollution at its source before it's too late. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safety V2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.